In the quiet hum of a late afternoon in Austin, where the Texas sun dipped low like a golden coin slipping into a velvet pouch, Elena Vasilievna stepped out of her small apartment on Congress Avenue. She was a woman in her 40s, with hair the color of autumn chestnuts tied back in a simple scarf, and eyes that held the soft blue of distant Russian winters, memories of Moscow snow she rarely spoke of. Elena had come to Texas 20 years ago, chasing a dream of fabric and form, but life had woven its own threads. A seamstress by day in a bridal shop, a mother by night to a teenage daughter who dreamed bigger than their rented walls could hold. The air carried the faint scent of creosote bushes and barbecue smoke from a nearby food truck, mingling with the sharper tang of fresh-cut limes from a street vendor's cart. Elena walked slowly, her sensible flats clicking softly against the sidewalk, carrying a canvas bag filled with sketches, delicate drawings of dresses that flowed like rivers, inspired by the wildflowers she saw blooming along the Colorado River. She paused at a crosswalk, watching families stroll by, their laughter floating like dandelion seeds on the breeze. It was one of those moments when the world felt vast yet intimate, like the pause before a needle pierces cloth. Elena's days were measured in stitches and sighs. At the shop, she mended hems for brides who twirled in mirrors, their joy a mirror to her own faded hopes. She had once designed for the runways of Leningrad, back when it was still called that, creating gowns that whispered of Tsarist elegance with a modern edge. But here, in the heart of Texas politics and pageantry, her talents were tucked away like forgotten lace in a drawer. The relatable ache came most evenings, when she sat at her kitchen table under the glow of a single bulb, her daughter Sophia chattering about school trends and viral videos. "Mama, look at her," Sophia would say, holding up her phone to a clip of Representative Jasmine Crockett striding through the Capitol in a bold pantsuit the color of midnight indigo, accessorized with earrings that caught the light like stars over the plains. Jasmine Crockett, the fashion icon of Texas, they called her on those short-form reels, her style a fierce blend of power and poise, turning heads in Washington while rooting deep in Dallas soil. Elena envied that ease, that way Jasmine wore her confidence like a perfectly tailored cape. It wasn't the glamour alone, it was the way Jasmine's outfits spoke volumes without a word, structured blazers over flowing skirts for committee hearings, vibrant scarves tied with the flair of a storyteller unveiling a plot twist. Elena's own wardrobe was practical. Cotton blouses from the thrift store, skirts hemmed by her own hand to last another season. "Why don't you try, Mama?" Sophia asked one night, her voice gentle but insistent, as they shared a bowl of borscht warmed on the stove. "You could make something like that. Show the world your magic." But Elena shook her head, a small smile hiding the knot in her chest. Who was she to chase icons? Her dreams felt as threadbare as the elbows on her favorite sweater. The problem settled in her like dust on an unused sewing machine, the fear that her voice, her vision, had grown too quiet in this loud, sun-baked land. Weeks passed in that slow rhythm of routine, the Texas heat building like tension in a tightly wound bobbin. Elena's walks grew longer, her sketches more fervent. One humid Saturday, as cicadas droned their endless hymn from the live oaks, she wandered into a community market near the Capitol grounds. Booths overflowed with handmade soaps scented like prickly pear, turquoise jewelry glinting under string lights, and racks of local designs that mixed cowboy chic with urban edge. The air hummed with mariachi guitars and the sizzle of fajitas, a tapestry of sounds that wrapped around her like a shawl. She lingered at a stall draped in colorful serapes, fingering bolts of silk that shimmered like the Pedernales River at dusk. There, amid the chatter of vendors haggling in Spanglish, Elena spotted a flyer pinned to a corkboard, "Style and Substance, a tribute to Texas trailblazers." It was a pop-up fashion event, inspired by women like Jasmine Crockett, politicians, artists, mothers who stitched their stories into the fabric of the state. The call was simple: submit a design, tell its tale. Entries would be displayed alongside photos of Jasmine in her signature looks, that emerald green dress from her swearing-in, sharp as a debate point, or the wide brim hat she wore to a rally, shading her eyes while she shaded no fools. Elena's heart stuttered, a gentle twist uncoiling in her chest. Not jealousy this time, but a spark. What if her Russian roots could bloom here, in this soil of magnolias and mesquite? She bought a yard of indigo linen on impulse, its hue echoing Jasmine's bold suits, and carried it home like a secret promise. Back in her apartment, with Sophia at a friend's house and the fan whirring lazily overhead, Elena spread the fabric across her table. The needle glided through it in the quiet hours, each stitch a breath, a memory. She crafted a dress that married her worlds. A high-neck bodice embroidered with delicate matryoshka patterns in gold thread, nested dolls symbolizing layers of self, hidden strengths revealed one by one. The skirt flowed wide and forgiving, pleated like the folds of a prairie skirt, with hidden pockets for the small treasures of a woman's day, a lipstick, a vote, a dream deferred. As she worked, the room filled with the soft scent of her lavender sachet, and outside, the moon rose full over the city, casting silver light through the blinds like applause from the stars. The event arrived on a breezy October evening, the air crisp with the promise of fall leaves turning crimson. Elena arrived early, her creation folded carefully in tissue paper, her palms damp as she signed in at the venue, a converted warehouse strung with fairy lights and banners fluttering like flags of change. Women milled about in clusters, their conversations a murmur of shared stories, the lawyer in red heels who fought for equal pay, the teacher with braids adorned in cowrie shells who mentored young poets. And there, projected on a wall like a benevolent guardian, was Jasmine Crockett herself, in a clip from one of those YouTube shorts, her laugh rich and resonant as she quipped about style being armor for the soul. "Wear what makes you feel unbreakable," she said, her voice carrying over the crowd like a warm wind.